Hello Starshine, my name is Liz and this is my channel, Simsational Stories. If you have not seen my videos before and you enjoy this one, please like and subscribe, and maybe check out my Facebook page where this whole thing began as well. All relevant links are in the description below, and of course if you're a Sims player and you'd like to download any of the characters featured in my stories, just search the hashtag Simsational Stories on the Sims 4 gallery. All original content is created by This Is Not Eric. Alrighty then. So, welcome, and what is up, Buttercup? Are you having a good day or a bad day? Whichever your answer, please allow me to distract you from your life and tell you a story, a Simsational story. Before I begin though, I'd like to issue this blanket content and trigger warning. The following story is just Sims, hey. I'm not going to apologise for treating them terribly, if that's what I've done. But I do want to assure you now that although I mean absolutely no harm, I completely understand if you feel unable to consume my content. Many loves, and we will catch each other on the internet elsewhere. Okay, so now we've gotten that over with. Let's go. Today's story is from The Ascension of Anastasia, and we're at chapter 2. If you have not seen the previous chapter and would like to catch up, there are playlists available on my channel so you can hear the entire story in chronological order. The rest of us are going to move on from where we left off last time though. So without further ado. Life in Del Sol Valley, unfortunately, felt a lot like life in San Myshuno had. Anton worked away in the military a lot while Anastasia searched frantically for auditions, hoping against hope that each one would be the one. They didn't spend much time together. And Anton still didn't know if he was a father or not, or even that he could be. After his affair came out, Anastasia had forbidden him from contacting the woman who he had had the affair with, Kellyanne Calthus. And although he was tempted to call, he didn't, instead channeling all his frustration at the situation into his fitness regime. Anastasia also tried not to think about the woman who had lured her husband away from her. That was all behind them now. They'd moved to Del Sol Valley and were starting a new life together. Whatever happened with Kellyanne Calthus, then or now, was not their problem or business anymore. Those first few weeks in Del Sol Valley were definitely rocky, but they eventually started to find their path again. What really saved them was their new home gym. Working out together and getting physical in it started to bring back their old chemistry. That chemistry quickly and easily translated from the gym into the bedroom. They had been together for a long time, ever since high school, and once they managed to broach the gulf between them, things got better quickly. It really was like riding a bike. You never forgot. But something was still missing. Anna longed to start a family of their own. She'd always wanted to, but after everything that had happened with Kellyanne, the urge was stronger than ever. She thought that a baby of their own would stop Anton from straying again. But what she didn't know was that Anton was already straying again. Her name was Audrey Whitman, and she was just on 19 years old. Anton had never been with a girl like her before, one so alive and fun, and it didn't hurt that she was also intoxicatingly beautiful. Anton had met Audrey because she was their maid at the new house. He'd come across her in the kitchen during those first few weeks and tried to ignore his attraction to her. Things had just started to get back on track with Anna, but it was impossible for him to resist for too long. Within weeks of moving to Del Sol Valley, even as his relationship with Anna got better and better, Anton was sneaking around behind her back in bathrooms with Audrey. She tried to say no at first. She knew he was married, but he was so good looking, and he knew exactly what he was doing. Their affair began almost before she knew it. And so, when Anastasia announced to him her goal of having a baby of their own that year, Anton was less than enthusiastic. But he knew he had no logical reason to be. He could only hope it wouldn't happen. It hadn't happened so far, and they'd never been particularly careful. It didn't matter. Anna just wanted to be a mum herself. And so Anastasia embarked on a campaign to get pregnant. She did everything she could to up her chances, from strange home remedies Is it true if you listen to kids' music while you woohoo, you have a higher chance of conceiving? To your basic aphrodisiacs. Hannah tried it all. She was desperate to fall pregnant. Meanwhile, Anton was busy desperately hoping she didn't fall pregnant because he was falling in love for what he slowly realized might be the first time in his life. He and Anastasia had been together for almost a decade, but if he faced the truth, he realized it had never really been anything but convenient for him. That was why it was so easy for him to cheat on her. Anastasia had no idea what Anton was up to. She was so preoccupied with her failure to fall pregnant. First weeks and then months went by, and every time she took that dreaded test, it would invariably show up as negative, leaving Anna devastated over and over again. All she wanted was a little family of her own. She and Anton had been together so long, but somehow it just didn't quite feel real. But a baby would change all that. While Anton slept, seemingly unbothered, Anastasia stayed up meditating on the matter. Meditation had always helped her. It had even helped her let go of her anger at Kellyanne. But nothing was helping her now. She was so unhappy and felt so alone so often. But she really thought a baby would fix everything. In her desperation, Anastasia started researching adoption. The process wasn't even that difficult. All they had to do was apply online. There weren't even any home visits or inspections. Everything was done on the computer. And her hand hesitated only for a second before confirming their application. She hadn't even told Anton she was thinking about it. But when she did tell Anton, his reaction wasn't at all what she was expecting. He was horrified, not delighted. How could she take such a big step behind his back? He was so angry with her and furious at a system that allowed one person in a marriage to apply for them both. Had she even thought about what this would do to their lives? Anastasia had thought about it. She'd thought about it endlessly every time Anton left her for weeks on end for some new mission or another. She just wanted some part of him, some piece of their love to hold on to when he wasn't home. Why didn't he understand that? And that brings us to the end of Chapter 2 of The Ascension of Anastasia. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can tune in soon to hear the next chapter. Or like I said, look us up on Facebook. Bye!